Before the first scream, before the first shadow appeared, it was only a face, faint, out of place, stitched into the background of a harmless church group chat. No name, no message, just eyes that seemed to know her. She could have looked away. She could have deleted it. But Eunice didn't. And that is how she learned that some images aren't just pictures. They are doors. The first time Eunice saw the face, she screamed so loud her mother dropped a bowl of hot pepper soup on the floor. It was just after 9 p.m. on a Sunday, and the city house was quiet, except for the steady hum of the standing fan in the corner. Eunice had opened her church youth group chat to check choir practice times when she saw it. A young man's face, not sent, not a file, but faint, like a shadow behind a devotional message. His skin was pale, his eyes were too bright, his lips slightly open, as if whispering her name. "What's that noise?" Florence, her mother, stormed in, wiping soup from her hands. Her face was a mix of anger and worry. "Eunice, why are you shouting?" "It's nothing," Eunice lied, her hands shaking as she grabbed her phone. The face was gone. Only clean text remained. Her heart pounded, but she forced a smile. "Sorry, Ma. I just got scared." Florence frowned, unconvinced, but returned to the kitchen, muttering about messes. Eunice sat frozen, the phone heavy in her hand. Her mind was stuck on that eerie face. That night, sleep wouldn't come. The fan's hum felt mocking as she lay awake, picturing his strange, familiar eyes. It wasn't someone she knew, yet it felt like she'd seen him in a dream long ago. She checked her phone again, half dreading, half hoping he'd reappear. Monday morning, Eunice trudged to the tailoring shop, her stomach tight with unease. Her boss, Cecilia, was in a bad mood, yelling, "Eunice, stop wasting thread! Focus!" But Eunice's eyes kept darting to her phone, opening WhatsApp, scanning for that face. Nothing. The day dragged, each notification making her flinch, but the chat stayed normal. By Thursday, fear had settled deep. At dinner, she checked an old bridal train group chat, untouched for months. There he was, clearer now, no smile, his heavy eyes staring straight at her. Eunice dropped her fork, her breath catching. "Eunice, you sick?" Gideon, her younger brother, asked, his brow furrowed. "You're too thin," Florence scolded. "Eat something." "I'm fine," Eunice whispered, barely hearing them. She scrolled up, down, refreshed. The face vanished. Her mind raced. How could it appear without being sent? Who was he? Friday night, alone in her room, Eunice found the courage to act. The face had returned in a chain message from her aunt. She screenshot it, heart thumping, and zoomed in. The image was blurry, but the tight feeling in her chest grew stronger. She tried Google's reverse image search. Nothing. Desperate, she sent it to her cousin Priscilla. "Eunice, you're watching horror films again?" Priscilla texted, laughing, then corrected herself. "Sorry. Scary stuff." "I'm serious," Eunice replied. "This face keeps showing up." Priscilla's voice note came, her tone low. "Delete it now. I heard stories about pictures like that. It's not right." Eunice stared at the screenshot, finger hovering over delete. But something stopped her. The face felt too familiar, like he was watching her, waiting through every scroll, every doubt. She locked her phone, shivering. Saturday night, a dream gripped her. She stood by a river, holding her phone, his face on the screen, crying, not in pain, but lost. She woke gasping, soaked in sweat. Her phone glowed faintly. The wallpaper had changed, his smiling face behind her calendar app. She hadn't set it, she was sure. She ran outside, the compound dark and silent. Her mother was at a village funeral, Gideon asleep, neighbors gone. Eunice paced, wanting to scream, but no one would hear. Then her phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. "Why do you keep looking for me?" Her fingers froze. Another message appeared. "You called me. Now I'm here." Her knees gave way, and she sank to the ground, the phone's light cutting through the night. Eunice's heart still raced from the chilling messages. She deleted them, blocked the number, turned off her data, and powered down her phone, hoping to break free. But by morning, his smiling face remained her wallpaper, staring back. Desperate, she headed to church, not for choir, but for answers. She sat alone in the third row of the empty hall, clutching her phone, until Collins, the youth coordinator, arrived. "Brother Collins," Eunice said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Can spirits come through phones?" He raised an eyebrow, half smiling. "What kind of question is that?" "I keep seeing a face," she explained, her hands trembling. "It shows up in chats, pictures, even when there's no photo. It's like he's waiting for me to notice." Collins's smile faded. He sat beside her. "Did someone send it?" "No," she said. "It just appears." He leaned back, thoughtful. "My grandfather said the dead find new ways. Before it was mirrors, now maybe screens." Eunice's eyes widened. "So I'm not crazy?" "You're not crazy," Collins said firmly, "but be careful." He handed her a small bottle of anointing oil. "Pray over your phone. Wipe it with this. Don't open strange messages." She nodded, but doubt lingered. That night, in her room, she tried. She prayed, wiped the screen with oil-soaked cloth, and whispered Bible verses, tears falling. "Please, let this stop," she murmured. But sleep wouldn't come, fear keeping her awake. At 2:14 a.m., her phone lit up on its own, the glow filling the room. The front camera opened without her touch. Her reflection appeared, tired eyes, wrapped hair. Behind her, over her shoulder, was him. Pale, still, watching. Eunice screamed, flinging the phone across the room. She sobbed into her pillow until dawn, too scared to move. The next morning, she took a bus to her grandmother's village, telling no one why. As she stepped off, Agatha, her grandmother, stared at her pale face. "Eunice, what's following you?" she asked sharply. Eunice broke down, tears spilling. "There's a face, Grandma. It's in my phone. Chats, dreams, everywhere. He sent messages, cried in my dream by a river. I don't know him, but he won't leave." Agatha listened, her face stern, not blinking. When Eunice finished, the old woman stood and walked to the back of the compound. She pulled a small calabash, tied with old string, from a cloth-wrapped box. "My sister saw things like this," Agatha said. "In her day, it was mirrors, then radios. Now you say phones." "What does it mean?" Eunice asked, her voice shaking. "Something's looking for you," Agatha said slowly. "Something with an unfinished story." "But I don't know him," Eunice cried. Agatha's eyes softened. "Maybe not now. Maybe from before." That evening, they buried the phone by the compound's fence. Agatha muttered prayers, poured palm oil around the small mound, and pressed a kola nut into the soil. Sleep now, she told Eunice. Exhausted, Eunice did. The night quiet. No dreams, no messages. But at 6 a.m., her peace was shattered. Her ringtone echoed from the ground, from the buried phone. Eunice froze, heart pounding, as Agatha slept inside. The ringing stopped, and a soft voice whispered from the soil, "Come and finish it." Eunice stepped back, her chest tight. Then she saw it, a folded paper pinned to the fence with a rusted nail, not there the day before. With trembling hands, she pulled it free. It was a printed screenshot of her asleep in bed, taken from above, impossible for any human to capture. His face was there, smiling, with sharp black words beneath, "You were mine first." Eunice's breath caught, fear gripping her as the village woke around her, unaware of the terror in her hands. Eunice burned the screenshot behind the compound, watching the paper turn to ash. She didn't tell Agatha, her fear too personal to share, as if speaking it would make it real. "Lord, protect me," she whispered, clutching a prayer she barely remembered. The flames died, but her unease lingered. That night, she made a mistake. Needing to ease her mother's worries, she borrowed her uncle's old Nokia to call Florence. "Ma, I'm staying in the village a bit longer," she said, voice shaky. "I'm not feeling well." "Oh, Eunice, I'm just glad you're okay," Florence replied, relieved. But as Eunice ended the call, it didn't disconnect. A soft click, then silence, then a voice. "Why are you running?" Eunice dropped the phone like it burned her. Heart pounding, she returned it to her uncle without a word and fled to the river behind the village. The shallow water moved over stones, the sun sinking low, casting long shadows. She stood at the edge, unsure why, her stomach tight with dread. Then she heard it, a name, faint, carried by the breeze. "Sylvester!" It came from the water, not her. She repeated it aloud. "Sylvester!" And the air changed. The breeze stopped. Leaves froze. The river fell silent. He appeared across the bank, not on her phone, but real. Pale skin, old-fashioned clothes, stiff collar, rolled sleeves, brown pants. He looked solid but lifeless, too smooth. "Who are you?" Eunice shouted, her voice trembling. He smiled. "You said my name." "I don't know you!" she snapped, stepping back. "You did once," he said, his voice calm, eerie. He stepped into the river, but the water didn't splash. It slid around him like he wasn't there. "You called me," he said. "I didn't!" Eunice's heart raced. "You screamshot me," he said, eyes fixed on her. "That's how it starts. You see me. You keep me." "No!" she yelled. "I just wanted to know who you were." "You already know," he said, smiling again. Eunice ran, her breath ragged, not stopping until she reached the compound. Agatha stood at the door, arms crossed. "You went to the river," she said, her voice sharp. Eunice nodded, panting. "He's real, Grandma. His name's Sylvester." Agatha's face paled, her eyes wide. "That name. No one said it here in 20 years. Who was he?" Eunice asked, sinking onto a stool beside her. Agatha sat slowly, her hands shaking. "My nephew. My sister's boy. Smart, but strange. Said spirits spoke to him through wires, radios, TVs. Said he could stay in pictures, see things beyond. What happened to him? Eunice pressed, her voice barely a whisper. Agatha paused, her eyes distant. He vanished. We searched for days. Someone saw him by the river, staring into the water, holding a camera. We never found him. He's still there, Eunice said, her stomach twisting. Agatha's hands trembled more. Before he disappeared, he told a story no one believed. Said he loved someone not yet born. Saw her in a broken mirror. Said she'd know him by his smile. Eunice's breath caught. Was it me? Agatha stared at her, eyes searching. I don't know, child. But if it's you, he thinks you're his. He won't stop until you say yes. Eunice's heart sank, the weight of his words pressing on her. Outside, the night grew heavy, crickets buzzing faintly. But the sound was drowned out when her uncle's Nokia rang again. It wasn't a ringtone, it was his voice, looping through the speaker. Say yes, just say yes, just say yes. Eunice froze, her fear rising as the voice echoed into the dark, pulling her back to the terror she couldn't escape. The voice from the Nokia wouldn't stop. Say yes, just say yes, just say yes. It looped, steady and cold. Eunice grabbed a rock and smashed the phone, the battery flying, the screen cracking. But the words echoed in her head, keeping her awake all night, her heart racing with fear. By morning, Agatha called Basil, an old friend and pastor from a nearby village. He arrived before noon, dressed in white, carrying a worn Bible and a small metal box. His tired eyes sharp with focus. Eunice poured out her story, the face, the messages, the dreams, her voice shaking. Basil listened silently, then opened his box, pulling out a thin booklet. This isn't possession, he said. It's attachment. He's tied to you through images, through you saving his face. That's how spirits move now. How do I stop it? Eunice asked, her voice cracking. Basil turned to Agatha. We need the echo room. Agatha's eyes widened. No one uses that anymore. We have to, Basil said firmly. They led Eunice to an old prayer shed behind the compound, made of red clay with no windows, just one door. Inside, Basil set his Bible on the floor, lit a candle, and drew a chalk symbol, a circle in a triangle, crossed by a curved line. This room shows what's tied to you, he said. Not your memories, but what remembers you. Eunice sat in the center, her hands trembling. Basil closed the door, leaving her in darkness. The candle's small flame, her only light. At first, nothing happened. Then the air turned cold, her breath visible. The candle flickered, bending sideways with no breeze. Her ears buzzed, her body tense. Then, she wasn't alone. Sylvester appeared, floating, his head tilted, hands behind his back, a faint smile on his pale face. Not angry, but loving. You found the room, he whispered. What do you want? Eunice asked, her voice shaking. I want to finish what I started, he said softly. I saw you before you were born. I waited. Now you're here. You don't belong here, she shouted, standing. I never left, he said, stepping closer. I stayed in wires, signals, code, waiting for you to see me. You did. I didn't mean to, Eunice cried. You screenshot me, he said. That's enough. A saved image keeps me here. This has to stop, she said, eyes shut tight. Say yes, he whispered, closer now. Just once, and I'll stay with you in every call, photo, dream. No, she yelled. I want to forget you. You can't forget what's saved, he said. Eunice stepped back, her foot smudging the chalk line. The air shook. Sylvester's eyes darkened. You broke the seal, he said, voice sharp. The candle went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Sylvester's screams filled the air. Not hers, sharp and unnatural. The room grew hot, the air heavy. Eunice dropped to her knees, covering her head, his voice twisting, glitching. I'm not gone. I'm saved. I'm backed up. I'm still inside. The door flew open. Basil rushed in with a lantern, pulling her out. Are you okay? He asked, his voice tight. Did it work? Eunice gasped, trembling. I don't know, Basil said. You broke the seal. That wasn't supposed to happen. Agatha stood outside, hands clasped tight. What now? She asked, fear in her eyes. We burn it all, Basil said. The room, the ground, the phone's remains, everything. That night, they set the shit on fire. It burned fast, flames roaring as Eunice watched, her face lit by the glow, her heart heavy with dread. Then her pocket buzzed. She hadn't brought a phone. Her hand shook as she reached in, pulling out her old phone, cracked, scorched, buried days ago. It lit up. One new image saved. She opened it. A screenshot of her in the echo room, Sylvester behind her, smiling over her shoulder. Eunice's breath stopped, fear gripping her as the fire's heat faded, leaving only his presence. Eunice stared at the phone screen, her hands ice cold. The screenshot wasn't hers. No click, no sound, no warning. The timestamp showed it was taken seconds ago. In it, her face was pale, her eyes tired, staring ahead. Behind her stood Sylvester, clear and solid, smiling like they were in a happy photo. Her stomach churned with fear. She turned off the phone, but it flickered back on, the lock screen glowing. One new backup complete, it read. Panicked, she threw it into the fire, watching flames eat the plastic, the screen blackening. It's gone, she whispered, but dread clung to her. 2 days later, Eunice returned to the city, keeping silent about Sylvester, the echo room, and the fire. Florence was busy with rent, groceries, and Gideon's school fees. You're quiet, Florence said at dinner. Just tired, Ma, Eunice mumbled, forcing a smile. She tried to act normal, returning to the tailoring shop, bus rides, markets, and Sunday choir. She even laughed sometimes, but it felt hollow. Every screen, TV, laptop, phone, made her pause, checking for his face, his smile. The quiet broke soon. Her phone's autocorrect changed words to yes without reason. Voice notes she never made appeared in chats. Strangers on the street said, "You look familiar." Their eyes puzzled. Eunice's heart raced each time. One evening, walking home, she passed a huge digital billboard in the business district. It flickered, froze, and for a moment, Sylvester appeared. Same old clothes, same stance, standing in a phone ad's background. No, Eunice gasped, but it switched back. People walked by, unbothered. She ran home, legs shaking, At home, she deleted every app, reset her phone, and bought a new one.
This has to stop.
She told herself, setting it up fresh. But within a week, it updated on its own. In the photo gallery, among empty folders, was screenshot 001.jpg. Her hands shook, but she didn't open it. Instead, she climbed to a building's rooftop, away from Wi-Fi and signals, just sky above. She snapped the SIM card in half, breathing hard. She checked the phone. The image was blank, just grey static.
Thank God.
She whispered, relieved. Then the text appeared. You can't unsave me. Eunice screamed, dropping the phone. It fell 4 floors, shattering below. She didn't retrieve it, her heart pounding as she returned to her room. Sleep wouldn't come. Fear kept her awake. At 2 a.m., Florence burst in, holding Gideon's phone. "Eunice, who's this?" she asked, voice tight, showing the screen. Eunice's heart sank. In Gideon's WhatsApp group was screenshot 002.jpg. She opened it with trembling fingers. It showed her, Gideon, and Florence at the dining table that morning. Sylvester stood in the kitchen, staring at the camera. A new group appeared. "We're together now." Eunice burst into tears. "What's happening?" Florence asked, stepping back, confused. "I don't know, Ma," Eunice sobbed. "I tried to delete him. I really tried." As she spoke, her voice memo app opened on its own. A new file appeared. "Recording saved." She said yes. Florence gasped, her eyes wide with horror. "Eunice, what is this?" "I don't know," Eunice cried, her voice breaking. "He won't leave me alone." Outside, streetlights flickered. The living room TV turned on, volume rising. No signal, just static. And over it, a faint voice. "She's mine now." Eunice froze, tears streaming down her face. Florence grabbed her hand, her own shaking. "We'll fix this," she said. But her voice wavered. The static grew louder. Sylvester's words looping in the dark, pulling Eunice deeper into a nightmare she couldn't escape. The static is everywhere now, on the TV, in the dark glass of her phone, in the corner of her eye when she blinks. Sylvester doesn't knock. He doesn't call. He waits, already inside. Saved in every device she owns, and in some she has never touched. And now, maybe, he's in yours. If you felt him watching, if you caught his smile between the words, then share this story. Let them know he's coming. Like it if you dared to look. Comment if you've seen him too, and subscribe so you'll be here when I tell you what happens next, if we make it that far.